Howdy there, YouTube. So today we're going to be talking about if we are planning on selling NAT stock. So we're going to go into the bull thesis, the bear thesis. We're going to talk about good things for NAT, bad things for NAT, and we're going to dive into what my plan is for that. So at the end, I'm going to let you know what I'm doing with my NAT stock after we talk about good things and bad things with NAT stock. So we're going to dive into that. This is a larger position of mine, so I like to cover this one pretty in depth. So if you want to have updates on NAT, please like and subscribe. And let's dive into what's going on with NAT. So first we're going to go ahead and hit up that bull thesis, then we're going to hit the bear thesis, then I'm going to talk about my plans, what I think I'm going to do, and how I'm going to weigh these two things out. So it's always good to look at both sides of the argument just so you can go ahead and know what exactly is going on with the stock. It's really hard to look at a stock with just one side view of things, and then you won't know when to get out or anything like that. So the bull thesis, so I did it in green because that'd be like money. So the biggest thing that could happen is another shutdown. So if we had another shutdown, the oil demand would be decreased, and then potentially we could have negative oil prices again. Now the odds of this, I feel like are really, really low of this happening. I think the government does not want us to shut down and tack on another couple trillion of debt. They're going to do anything they can to avoid that. If COVID gets way worse, the season changing, then maybe that could happen, but it is hard to say. Another bullish thing we're hoping for, which is not active yet, is a rate rebound. So during the September time, we normally see rates for the Suezmax tankers increase. We normally do see that. We haven't seen that just yet because we saw that big spike in March in rates, so I'm not sure if that's throwing a monkey wrench in things, but over 2018 and 19, we normally see a sharp increase in pricing for oil per day, per ship, generally during September time. So we'll see if we see that increase again, but right now it's currently pretty low. Another bullish thing, the CEO and the Sun are clearly bullish on this. They've bought about 200,000 shares, not dollars, that's shares worth, in the $3 range. So when it got down to about $3.60, I believe that was the last time they purchased a bunch of shares. So they clearly believe in this stock. Solid dividends still, and I do believe the next dividend will still be solid because their year to date that they've made is still pretty on point for them. So I do believe their next dividend will still be on point. So this is kind of the stuff that we have for the bull thesis here. Now let's get to the bear thesis. So now we're hopping into the bear thesis. So what is the bear thesis on NAT stock? This one's in red because this would be negative monies here. So what is the bear thesis on NAT stock? So we've had terrible tanker rates. So the tanker rates have been bad, and I thought the bottom was $10,000 per day per ship in accordance to the Suezmax, but now we're down to about 5. So let's go ahead and look at last Friday's tanker rate. Let's go ahead and look at the Suezmax rates here. So last week it was 8.8 thousand per ship per day, and NAT is made up of all Suezmaxes, and it's down to 5.8 thousand per ship per day. So we were hoping the low was 10,000 per ship per day, and now it's down to 5.8. So I'm hoping it's not going much lower, and hopefully we're going to see an uptick here. You can see the tanker rates are bad, and they're about half of what I thought the bottom was. So I'm not too pleased right now with where the tanker rates are sitting at, and normally we see in September time a nice increase in tanker rates. I don't know if the March giant influx that they had for rates is really affecting what kind of rates they're getting now, but you can see in 18 and 19 based on their graph there that they do generally have spikes up when we've kind of been flat or down as of late. So the tanker rates are not good. The dividend is probably going to decrease because their earnings haven't been as good that we've seen on the tanker rates. They haven't been making as much per day per ship like they were in the last quarter. So their dividend is probably going to drop. With this, are we going to see a sharp decline in share price? Perhaps we will. Perhaps it could go back down to the $2 levels. Another big bearish thing. Are we going to go back to where the stock has been sitting for a very long time? Potentially. Earnings-wise, we have to go ahead and see if their earnings are going to be better. I'm thinking they're going to be worse, mainly because I've been following the tanker rate every week, and rates have not been good. Rates have been, I thought the bottom was 10,000 per ship per day, and now we're down to about 5,000, which is half of that. And this is way lower than we generally are in September time. So I'm hoping we really start seeing a nice influx in price there. And I know they've locked in contracts when it was at a higher rate, which was good. So this is kind of the bear thesis. So let's see what I'm going to be doing with my shares here. So what is Matt's move with NAT stock? So what I'm currently thinking right now is I'm kind of just in a hold pattern, and you hate to be the bag holder when you've lost so much. It is good just to know when you admit defeat, tuck your tail, don't lose more money on something. But right now I'm holding, and I'm leaning towards possibly selling pretty soon because I'm a man enough to admit when I'm wrong and something didn't pan out for me. So I'm not sure what exactly, and you can leave in the comments what you think this will happen, what exactly for this stock in particular the elections are going to have on this stock. I have been investing for about 3 years, so I missed the last election and what the effect on the market was. So I'm not sure how elections will go, if regardless to what side of the fence everybody is on, if we're going to have another COVID shutdown, depending on what will all happen there. So I'm kind of curious just to hold it at this point and see what will happen with the elections. I like that the CEO and his son are currently bullish. They've bought like 200,000 shares at the price it's kind of at now. So clearly they think it's going to go up. They're thinking it's going to be a good thing to buy at this point. So they are bullish on the stock, which is a good person to be bullish on the stock. And I really do like the CEO. The dividend, I think, will remain good, but I'm fairly certain it's going to decrease a decent amount. So we had 20 cents per share last dividend. I'm thinking it's going to decrease probably even half that, potentially, and I think that's going to murder the share price. So that's something to note when the next dividend date and when the next dividend is announced. That could be really bad for the stock because their focus is their dividend, and their dividend is a direct correlation to how much revenue they're pulling in. So that's something also to note, that they just pay most of the revenue in their dividends. I'm also kind of holding out for rates to increase for the Suezmaxes. I'm hoping that we see that September, October uptick that we normally see. So I'm kind of holding out for that as well. If over the next few weeks I just see it be stagnant at about 5K per tanker per day, then I'm going to be a little bit more bearish on this one and maybe sell. So for NAT stock, I'm holding. I would let you guys know if I'm to sell. You know, if you like and subscribe, you'll see that when I plan on selling this one or if I plan on holding this one. So this is a bigger position of mine, and I'll keep you updated. So hopefully we all make some money on this one at some point. You guys take care.